Hey everyone, so I want to talk about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon because we actually got some new information in the last couple of days here. We got a little teaser from Greg Nicotero. He sort of talks about the world and what the story is going to be like, the vibe and the tone and all of that. And there's also some stuff that I do want to get into as well in terms of, I guess, just the show in general, because we actually know the writers for each episode. And so I want to talk about that because obviously the writers for Dead City, I believe, are for the most part are completely brand new. And that's the same situation for Daryl Dixon. So we're seeing how well that's actually working right now. So I do want to kind of talk about that, get into that a little bit here. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, definitely go do so. Comic-Con is in like less than 2 weeks now. I'm going to be doing a big live stream for Comic-Con. I'll be answering all of your guys' questions, and we'll just be sort of awaiting the big reveal of, you know, obviously the Rick and Michonne show teaser, which I am expecting there to be a teaser. I don't know in what respect. Like, there's going to be some footage shown, I imagine. There's no way they're not going to like show us anything. There's definitely going to be something there, and there's going to be a lot of information. Honestly, that day is going to be a very, very busy day for me. I do think this year's Comic-Con is going to be bigger than it's been in quite a while. So yeah, definitely go follow me on Twitch. The link should be in the description. So I guess before we get into the stuff that Nicotero was saying about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, let's actually get into, I guess, the writers and whatnot for this show. So I got this from comicbook.com. I will leave a link down below to the article. Definitely go and check it out. As you know, the showrunner for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon is somebody that goes by the name of David Zabel. I could be saying his last name wrong. It could be just like Zabel or something, but it's David. Yeah, he's obviously a newer showrunner, right? Like, he hasn't really been a part of The Walking Dead before. And yeah, according to this article here, there's also five writers who wrote these first 6 episodes here of this first season. And it's actually kind of interesting because every single writer is entirely new to the franchise. Like, I don't recognize anybody here. It looks like the showrunner does write a few episodes here. Like, I do believe that he wrote episode 1. He also co-wrote episode 2 with Rickman. Now, I'm not going to read what the writers have essentially done in general, just because, like, there's not a lot of point in that. Like, honestly, some writers have written, you know, for shows that are just absolutely horrible, but their writing is still really amazing and they write really awesome episodes. So it's kind of hard to say, like, yeah, this writer wrote for this show and that show was horrible, so this episode's going to be really bad. You know, like, it's never that way. So episode 3 was written by Colleen Abert, and episode 4 was written by Shannon Goss. Episode 5 was by Zabel and Rickman again, who obviously did episode 2. And then 6 is Rickman and Laura Snow. So I would say for sure David Zabel was really one of the primary writers here, but you do have Rickman, who was involved in quite a bit here. And yeah, you obviously have 3 more writers here. So to me, I'm really interested in seeing how that contributes overall to the story. Like, I do kind of want to see how that has changed a lot of the tones and stuff from The Walking Dead. Like with Dead City, you know, there was only really 3 writers, I believe. Actually, yeah, here, I just pulled it up. So the first 2 episodes were written by Eli Journet. He also wrote episode 4 and the finale, episode 6. And then besides him, there was 2 other writers. I don't know how to say their last names, so I'm just gonna say their first names. But yeah, there was Keith, and then whatever his last name is. And then the second writer here was Brenna, and yeah, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but they were the writers for episodes 3 and 5. Episode 3 was honestly a very phenomenal episode. In general, you know, I think the writing has improved quite a bit. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily the writing, because there's stuff that still does feel similar, but that could also be because we're just within the Walking Dead universe, so they obviously want to write and you know, have certain elements from The Walking Dead to like what's made it successful. They want to keep that around a little bit, but obviously change some stuff up here and there. I don't know. I think they have the right people around them though right now, because Dead City obviously is doing really, really great. And you look at Daryl Dixon, they also have completely brand new writers as well. So like, you have all new writers for Daryl Dixon and for Dead City. The budget obviously is like massively increased. So I think that's why we're seeing the big improvement in quality that we're seeing, because it does just sort of like, it just looks a lot better. And speaking of the better improvement in quality, we actually do have a teaser here from Greg Nicotero that I do want to get into. I'll leave a link down below to this article. This is actually from EW, and this is how you know we're getting close to Comic-Con, is once EW starts posting articles about The Walking Dead. Like, it usually happens about 2-3 weeks before Comic-Con every single year, and there's going to be a lot more coming. So definitely every single, you know, every other day, there's likely going to be something posted, or if not, just make sure to check, because yeah, there's likely to be something posted here. They usually have a lot of like awesome Walking Dead content around this time of year. But Greg Nicotero says this is probably the closest to a standalone show you will ever get. The goal isn't just to see Daryl in exotic and new locations, but to explore a wholly different world. And I do remember Norman Reedus talking about that quite a bit, and talking about the fact that this is just going to feel very different. Totally, it's going to feel very different. We've obviously seen the trailer now, so I totally get what he was talking about. Like, the lighting is just different. I'm pretty sure he actually references that. Like, the lighting is different. Things just overall feel very different. And Nicotero even says right here, you know, that The Last of Us and Station 11 prove that there are still moving survival stories to be told, and our goal is to satisfy those people who want to go out or go on the adventure. Hop on, it's going to be a ride. So that is very true. You know, I think the zombie apocalypse, you know, story is something that people really do like quite a bit. And I can see it definitely coming back. You know, like, zombies right now aren't as dead as they were like a couple of years ago. Definitely a couple of years ago, it really felt like people just got really sick and tired of zombies. Right now, it is slowly kind of coming back a little bit. Like, it always sort of does that. It just goes away for a bit. And even if it's coming back right now, say it hits its peak in like a year or two from now, it might slowly die off, you know, after a couple of years, and then 10 years later it'll come back, sort of thing, right? Like, there's always these phases here and there, and so I can see it. I'm just excited about, you know, certain aspects to the Daryl Dixon show because it looks very different. Tonally, it looks very different. You know, the people that he's going to meet, it's going to be interesting because Daryl, he's going to be around people who are speaking French a lot, and it's just sort of, he has to learn how to communicate with them. So what's that going to be like? I could see how, you know, in terms of a standalone story, it could probably really feel like that, probably pretty literally, because he is likely going to feel very, very alone, like he has nobody to talk to, right? There's going to be some characters, though, that are from different parts of Europe, so I don't think everyone is speaking French. I just think that the people who are obviously just local to the area will be, and there's going to be a lot of that, so I'm excited for that. I really cannot wait to see how that's actually going to translate onto the show and translate to zombies and stuff like that. Like, I can't wait to see how that's going to just feel overall, you know. Just I'm really excited to watch that first episode to see what the tone and the vibe is going to be. I mean, honestly, like, Dead City has been so much fun, and I'm so hyped that I have this other show to watch, but like, the fact that there's going to be this other show with also a fan favorite with Daryl is something that is really cool. I can't wait to see, well, I can't wait to see a lot more of the stuff that I know that I saw that I can't really talk about. They haven't released it officially yet, so I have to wait for that, but like, there's some really, really cool shots, some really, like, honestly, awesome stuff that just like looks absolutely amazing. Actually, I do believe there was one thing that they did release that I can't actually talk about, and that is there was a shot from a recent like trailer or something that came out, and it actually shows Daryl like in a totally new outfit with a different type of weapon. And yeah, I think tonally it looks super awesome. It looks really incredible. I know there was a teaser actually that came out where the music really felt very, like, honestly, I would say it really feels like, you know what, actually that's probably the best way to describe it. This feels like an exorcism show in a way, you know what I mean? It kind of feels like this is sort of your, well, it's not necessarily like an exorcism movie, but like The Omen, or like, I guess, The Exorcist a little bit, like the Conjuring movies a little bit. There's some movies there where you can really feel that, like, that tone that is, you know, like, I don't know, I can totally see it though. I can see the tone that they were going for here, and the music really, really fits it really well. Whereas I think with Dead City, that really does feel a lot more like a slasher film almost, in a sense, right? Like, I feel like that's the best way to describe those two. Dead City is more like a slasher zombie show sort of thing, and then Daryl Dixon is more of like your typical like haunted house slash like exorcisms sort of thing, right? Like, it kind of feels it as exactly what it's going to be. And then I think the Rick and Michonne show is probably going to be just like classic Walking Dead, most likely. I mean, there could be some differences there, some changes that they do make, but I really feel like just in terms of the CRM and all of that, it's going to feel just like The Walking Dead, basically, because it's sort of the next big arc, right? So yeah, anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Comic-Con is in just 12 days from now, so yeah, I'm so excited for that. There's going to be a lot of stuff that drops. I'm really excited for the casting stuff and just more information on the world. Like, there's going to be some really cool stuff about the shows, but like, what I really want to hear is, I want to hear from Gimple, and I want to hear him talk about what they're doing now with the franchise going forward, right? Like, there's just been this sort of like, I guess, non-talk about stuff like that. Like, they talked about the final season ending and stuff last year, and they talked about some plans that they have, but they never really there's not like an update on like, this is what we're doing with the world and this is what we're doing with the characters. Like, there's going to be that question, like, are these characters going to reunite at some point in the future? Like, are we building towards that? Like, what are we building towards here? What's your vision for the future? And obviously they don't want to get into every little aspect to it, right? Like, you don't want to spoil everything, but I would like some clarity on some of that. So yeah, hopefully we do get that. But yeah, definitely post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.